The fact that this panel exists, and then it segues into this throughout Chapter 106, and then after that in Chapter 107, you see Uzaki-chan down for the count and having to be taken care of because she was exhausted by the Golden Dragon, I think says everything about the current state of the Uzaki-chan manga, and it's very clear to me after making this post late yesterday that a lot of people were completely unaware of this romantic development that was taking place within the manga. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to make a video highlighting this moment, talking about Uzaki-chan and how it has the balls, the mega balls, to do something that just so many romance manga and anime just fail to do. And that is actively progressing the emotional and romantic feelings of the characters of the story, instead of playing with our feelings for 300, 400 chapters with basically no progression, looking at you, Rent-a-Girlfriend. You know, that is pretty much, you know, the norm when it comes to manga and anime, at least in the romance slice of life genre. But as of late, there has definitely been more of a shift, especially with like Nagatoro as an example, and now this with Uzaki-chan, that there is some really good romance out there that is actually progressing the story, having characters getting together, and seeing the aftermath after they get together. Because I know for a fact, if you have read manga and watched anime, or read light novels, you've definitely seen when characters actually romantically get together, like they finally admit they love each other, etc., you know, usually the series wraps up very soon. Like, they'll have a kiss scene, and then there'll be like a time skip, you'll see them have kids, and then the series is effectively over. That's pretty much what happens, so to speak. So, when you think about just the current events within this manga of Uzaki-chan, the fact that we've had no announcement for the manga's conclusion lets us know that the author's like, yeah, you know what, I'm about to cook up a 5-star meal, and I'm going to showcase what happens when a couple gets together, and they have an active, intimate relationship. You know, what dynamic are they going to have with the people around them? It's just so nice. It's so nice to see a series step into this realm and not do the traditional bait of like no progression for hundreds of chapters to extend the story. Now, I want to talk about something that's absolutely hilarious about chapter 106 and 107. So obviously, you know, Uzaki's like, hey, you want to do it? And then, you know, obviously it's agreed upon, and then, you know, they get intimate together. And after this whole ordeal within chapter 106, literally Uzaki is so exhausted. She got literally just taken to Pound Town so hard that she legitimately could not move from the bed. Like, she was exhausted, down for the count, having to be fed, etc. It is legitimately hilarious. So it's just like, seeing this character that has always been kind of like depicted in a lot of people's imaginations and discussion within the community before chapter 106 and 107, that she's like this nympho-like character, just, you know, actively always going after, you know, with raunchy ideas, etc. The fact that she's like this is pretty funny. It's legitimately funny to see the contrast of that, and it's just like, I'm not gonna lie, I like how the story is progressing past this and tackling emotions and feelings that you don't often see in this type of category of manga. Now, there is rare examples of this happening too in the past, but I'm just glad that more mainstream stuff that's at least more recognizable, that people definitely read more common now, are doing stuff like this. It's like, you're not having to dive into like the trenches or the abyss or whatever to find a manga that does content like this. There is now actual content on the surface that people will recognize from an image, like Uzaki-chan is recognizable, and be like, holy crap, this actually happened within the story. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see the author is cooking up and actually doing really good stuff within the story. Now, with that being said, though, I love the relationship, absolutely cute, and it really is the year of romance manga. Like, seriously, like, 2024 has just been incredible, especially for Uzaki and Nagatoro. I mean, I talked about Nagatoro literally last week with my chapter review, so if you watched it, you know what I mean, and then now seeing this, it's just, you can't help but just smile. You can't help but just feel happy. And I am curious, like, you know, when this does get, let's say, adapted, like, you know, when the anime continues one day, I wonder if they're even going to showcase the content that happens here in, you know, the manga, or will they just imply it and skip over it? I have so many questions, but legitimately, it's funny seeing Uzaki being so drained that she just can't move after the whole ordeal. It's, you can't make this stuff up. Sometimes it's just like I've always said, reality is often more hilarious or unbelievable than fiction itself, and just this right here is crazy to see. Now, with all of that being said, though, there is something that does need to be talked about. The elephant or dragon in the room that I think that, you know, is a big discussion point for the story. And that is the fact that now that obviously Uzaki is having more of an intimate, active lifestyle with her partner, I do wonder how far the author is willing to take this. Because obviously, since the series is clearly not, you know, ending, you know, no announcement, you know, there is so many different directions now. You can have it to where Uzaki, you know, potentially gets pregnant, like she has a child, and then we get to see like a happy family life, or maybe even a difficult family life, seeing how they deal with childcare and then growing up and putting their child in school, etc. There's a lot of directions that this story theoretically could go if it could, you know, if it wanted to. And I think that this is just such a fascinating segment of the story, because it's like you don't see these points often within a manga, because usually it's used as a epilogue. For instance, like a one-chapter epilogue showcasing a time skip, but no, we're actively seeing stuff that would theoretically be an epilogue of a story actually being a part of the main story with potentially no ending in sight for a long time, because there is a lot of content here that can be expanded upon and showcase just how, you know, these two interact in life, how they deal with arguments, how they deal with the work life, etc. I feel like that's just really cool, and there's honestly a gold mine here, a straight up gold mine for this manga, and I think that a lot of manga really miss out on this opportunity with this gold mine, because it's like, why just stop at characters getting together, having their little kiss scene, confession scene, and hand-holding scene at the end of your series, when you can go further past that, have them have a family, get to see their kids, getting to see them go throughout their work life, and seeing their kids grow up as well. It's just like, you could have like a JoJo type thing going on. Like, imagine, theoretically, just in a different alternate reality, okay? Like a series that was like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Not like the wackiness, but like generations. Like, you literally see generations, like characters grow old and then the new generation comes in, and you just see the progression of, you know, just their life and the family, etc. Like, you could put a story maybe in the early 1900s or whatever, and then see the progression of that, you know, as the generations pass, romance, etc. It'd be super freaking cool. I would love to see a story like that, actual progression like that, and I feel like there's just so much untapped potential in this type of genre that you just don't see authors do, and I'm glad to see more experimentation as of late. So, yeah, anyways, just kind of wrap up my main thoughts. I wanted to gas up Uzaki-chan, because chapter 107 and 106 was amazing. Obviously, the follow-up chapters after that's great, too. I wanted to gas the series up, because, like, man, I've been loving romance this year, and it has just been absolutely spectacular. But, okay. Thank you so much for watching. May all of you have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content and you want more of my content to appear in your subscription feed, then do subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Leave a like on the video as well. I greatly would appreciate it. And with that, Chibi out.